Okay, welcome everyone to TechZone Academy WordPress web designing course. I'm Coach Mida Kingsley, and in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to design a website. But first, I would like to introduce certain things to you about web designing. All right, if you want to design a website, the first thing that comes into your mind is what am I designing? What is this that I'm designing? What is a website? And every web designer needs to know the definition of a website, not as Wikipedia defines it, but as they understand it. So, what I'm going to give you is an understanding of what a website is and not just a predefined definition. Okay, what is a website? It says a website is a set of web pages located within a domain name, typically produced by a single person or an organization. It says the website is a set of web pages. So when you say it's a set of web pages, then you need to ask yourself, what is a web page? A web page is a document that can be accessed by a search engine, the document that can be accessed on the internet. And so when those documents are being interconnected together is what we call a website. So the connection of web pages, the interconnection between web pages, when one or two or three web pages are being joined together is what produces a website. So a website can be produced by a single person or an organization. We have organizations that deals with producing or designing websites. We have an individual that can also design a website. According to Wikipedia, a website is a collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a common domain name and published on at least one web server. Okay, notable examples are wikipedia.com, google.com, amazon.com. All of them are websites, and once you visit the website, you will see different pages that makes up that website. And I've said earlier that a web page is the set of documents. Those called documents contains pictures, they contain text, they contain audios too. So in those documents now that are being accessed by the search engines. So web pages itself, website itself is the connection or the combination or collection of those web pages. It's what makes up the website. In a layman's understanding, a website is a group of pages that contain certain information about a business, person, group of individuals, informations like contact details. So now if you want to see certain informations about a company, a business or an individual, you always look for the person's website. So when you visit the website, you see certain pages on the website, page like about us, page like contact us, page like histories, what they sell, their informations to how to contact them. So the combination of these pages is what makes up a website. Okay, let's go to types of websites. For you to design a website, we have two different kinds of websites. Okay, and one of them is a static website, another one is a dynamic website. It says a static website is a kind of website that, as the name implies, is static. The website that you visit today is the same you visit tomorrow. All the content, all the text, all the videos, all the audios are always the same, and it doesn't change most times. Okay, so most company websites are static websites, they doesn't change, their contents are always the same. But in dynamic websites, the kind of website that has its content changing from time to time. If you visit it today, you visit it 2 minutes later, the contents are changed, the way it was has changed. Examples like Facebook. If you visit Facebook now, you refresh again, all the contents has already changed. E-commerce website like Jumia's too. We have blog websites too, like Punch newspaper. Their contents changes from time to time, so they are called dynamic websites. But static website are websites that if you visit today, all the things are the same almost every time. Now, we talk about if you are designing a website, you need to know also about web hosting, because you cannot have a visible website on the internet without it being hosted. And so you need to know what hosting is all about. It says web hosting is a service that provides space on the internet for your website files. Now, when you are designing a website with all the content, all the text, all the videos, all the audios are being put in a file. So those files are called website files. So those website files now are actually the the website itself. So now for it to be displayed on the internet, it need to be hosted on a server. So when it's being hosted on the server, what the server does is that the server releases the information to anyone that is searching for the website per time. So now what web hosters does is that they first provide a server space for you. They store your website files, and then when anyone wants to visit your website, they takes the information, then process it and releases the website files to the person. So a web hosting company provides a server space for you. We have different kinds of server space. There are certain server space that you will need for certain things you are going to do. There are smaller server space, there are bigger server space. At times you even ask them to give you a whole server. And what is a server itself? A server is the physical storage system where website files are being stored. They are physical computers, but they are different from the kinds of computer we know by ourselves. They are just built from underground to store website files. Since web hosting is where your website files are physically stored, web hosters actually provide a server that stores your website files. Okay, when we work and we go into the video for hosting itself, I will explain better what web servers are all about. Since once you buy a hosting service from a provider, you have a portion of their web servers to store your website files and data. Depending on the type of hosting you bought and what you are going to use your website for is the kind of or the type of website server, the portion they will give to you. For instance, you are building an e-commerce website like Jumia, you want to buy a bigger web server space. If you want to design a simple website for a company, you will not want to buy a server space that Facebook is actually buying. Okay, so it determines the kind of web server space you are buying. So when you are buying a hosting service from a hosting provider, what you're actually buying is a portion of their server space where your website files will be stored. Okay, so that when someone visits your website, the server itself will release those files to the person and the person will be able to see it visually. Whenever someone types in your website domain name, your web hosting provider will be responsible for sending its con ten t to the visitors. This is how website works, this is how the internet works. We have what is called the server, we have what is called the user. In the server now is where your files are being stored. Okay, so when someone types in your website domain name, the server takes in the information the person is looking for, looks for the server that your website or the website files is in. When he or she sees when the internet sees it, it releases the website files to the person that is looking for the information. And certain website servers has a lot of websites in itself. We are just some few web servers that is owned by an individual. Most web servers you are going to share with a lot of people. So when someone types in your domain name, it looks for your domain string in the web server and releases the information to the person that is looking for it. It also provides domain registration and protects the server and your website files from malicious attacks. On just It doesn't just provide a server space for you, that's a portion of their server for you so that you can store your files. It doesn't just releases those informations to someone that is looking for your website information. It also provides domain name registration and also protects your server from people that wants to attack it. Now it also provides protection, also safeguards your website file so that people will not attack and change certain informations on your website. So a web hosting company does a lot of things for your website. Now let's go about domain name. Since domain name is a string of characters that identifies a website, it is your website's equivalent of a physical address. So when someone knows your domain name, the person will be able to access your website easily. Says it helps users find your site easily instead of typing its internet protocol address. Now, for you to visit somebody's website, you will need to have the person's internet protocol address. The IP address is the string of characters. Those characters ranges from text, symbols and formulas, like is something very complicated that even you yourself cannot cram. So now a domain name does is that a domain name now replaces the IP address of your website. Now every IP address of a website links itself to the server that is hosting the website. So now what the domain name does is that it replaces you typing in the IP address. So once someone types in your domain name, it's like an equivalent or the same thing as though you are typing the internet protocol address. So that is the importance of domain name. It is always the combination of your business name plus a web extension. Web extensions like .com, .com.ng, .org, etc. All domain name are linked to their respective IP address and points to the specific web servers that host the website. Alright, let's continue to the next one. How domain names work. Now we have web browsers, we have DNS servers, and we have the hosting service. Now the web browser is someone that is accessing the website itself. This ranges from you or your visitors. Now when they type in your domain name or the IP address, now it takes them to the DNS server. The DNS server is the server that your web files are being stored in. Now when the DNS server receives the information that someone is looking for a specific website, DNS server now takes the information the hosting server, while the hosting server now releases the information to the users. We have definition of other terms. We have starting terms you need to understand. One of them is content management system. It's a software application that enables users to create, edit, collaborate on, publish and store digital content. This allows us to create posts and easily manage the contents on our website. Now for you to design a website, you need to know certain coding languages or programming languages. One of them is HTML and CSS. Knowing HTML and CSS can make you design a web page, but knowing JavaScript itself can make you connect or interconnect the different things on the web page. But now there are sometimes you don't want to learn the coding, you don't want to learn HTML, you don't want to learn CSS, but you want to design a website or you want to manage the website. So knowing content management systems is on the go. So once you know how to use a content management system, you'll be able to do anything that someone who knows how to use HTML or CSS can do. Says there are some content management systems. One of them are WordPress, Wix, Lear and Dropper. But one of the most common of among them is WordPress, because first it's very easy to use and it's very accessible to everyone. Now WordPress is an open source content management system. It makes it easy to create and manage a website. Says this is what powers more than 65% of all websites on the internet, powering millions of websites. Certain websites like Time Magazine, Sony Music, TechBlog, Microsoft Newswire, Destiny Company, TechCrush, they are all built on WordPress. This gives you an assurance that what you want to build your website on is actually trusted by companies like this. So designing a website on WordPress is not just a different thing, it's a very powerful resources that you can use to designing a website. So throughout the course, I will teach you how to use WordPress to design professional websites. You can decide to use WordPress to design it from scratch, you can decide to design it with templates. It's very easy and open. Now, if you want to use a WordPress, there are certain things you need to get acquainted with. And one of those things are WordPress themes, templates, and plugins. Those three tripartite parts of WordPress is what makes WordPress powerful. Now, first is WordPress theme. What is WordPress theme? It says this is a group of collective files, graphics, style sheets, and codes that detects the overall appearance of your blog or website. How your website looks is determined by the WordPress theme itself. For instance, let's take a physical example like a plan of a building. A plan of a building determines how the building looks. If I want to build a church, the plan itself will be different from building a duplex or a bedroom flat. So what a theme does is that it defines the kind of website you want to build. If I want to build a church website, the theme will be different from me building an e-commerce website. What determines the appearance or the usage of the website is the theme. So anytime you want to use a WordPress to design a website, the first thing that comes into your mind is, what am I designing and what theme fits in most to this that I'm designing. So the theme is what makes or what helps you designing a website easily. So if you are designing a website, first you need to know the kind of website and then know the theme that is used. For instance, I want to design a blog website. What comes into my mind is newspaper. Newspaper theme is very beautiful for designing a WordPress website. If I want to design an e-commerce website, or if I want to design an e-commerce website, what comes into my mind is Divi theme or other ones. But there are certain things that has no definite purpose. They are called all purpose WordPress themes, and one of those themes are Divi theme, Astra and Avada. Those themes, you can use them to design any kind of website. Getting access to these themes has a lot of you use a lot of money to buy them, because you can use it to do different things on WordPress. But you can have other ones like Hello Element, so that you can use it to design any other thing. So understanding WordPress theme itself is the basic thing that you need to know. This is the group of collective files that determines the overall appearance of your website. The next thing you need to know is the template. So the template is a WordPress template is a structure that defines a particular page on your WordPress website. While a theme determines the overall appearance, a template determines the page appearance. When you visit a website, you see the home page, the about us page. There's a template for a home page, there's a template for an about us page. So when you are designing, you can decide to design from scratch. You will not need a template. But if you are designing from an already made design, then each page of your website that you are going to design, we have an already made template that you will just customize. They are single files found within a WordPress theme. Almost all themes comes with a template, especially the premium themes. They all come with templates that you can just customize and get the website done. We have plugins. Now, the first I told you that a WordPress theme defines the overall appearance of your website. Then a template defines the structure of your page. But then what is a plugin? A plugin are pieces of software that plugs into your WordPress site. A plugin is something that has an additional feature or functionality to your site, allowing you to create visually any kind of website. A plugin is what makes WordPress powerful. WordPress plugins allows you to add any type of functionality, and WordPress itself adjusts to any functionality you want to design. For instance, I want to design a school management system. What I just need is to add the plugin that helps me to design that website. I just look for a school management plugin. Once I just install it, it redefines how the whole WordPress website was, and it helps me to build a school management system. So every plugin, for instance, I want to design an e-commerce website. What I just need to look for is a WooCommerce plugin or any kind of e-commerce plugin, and it redefines how the website looks and changing it to an e-commerce website. So a plugin is very vital, very powerful. You can design any kind of website on the internet for with WordPress once you know the plugin that enables the functionality you are looking for. The first thing you need to know if you are looking for a plugin or an additional functionality on your website is, what am I looking for? Which feature do I want? Then once you know the feature, you look for the plugin that helps in adding that feature to your WordPress website. And with that, you can be able to build any kind of website with WordPress. Then we have WordPress builders. It says there are plugins that let you create. It's WordPress builders itself are plugins too, but they are a kind of plugin that helps you create, edit, and customize your website layout without writing any piece of code. For instance, you don't want to use the WordPress template. You said the templates are already determined or defined pages that you just install and customize. And you want to build your own from scratch. Maybe you don't like using what someone has done, and you are very creative and want to create your own from scratch, then you can use the WordPress builders. We have popular WordPress builders like Elementor that has this premium as Elementor Pro. They are very powerful and they can help you to design and customize any kind of WordPress website you are looking for. We have another one, Divi. The Divi builder comes with the Divi theme, which helps you to design any kind of website. The next class, I'm going to teach you how what domain name is all about and how hosting works. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.